Welcome to Sessions with Mary Jane. I'm Reena Ezra. Later, we will be joined by Jordan Freed. Unfortunately, we don't have Brendan O'Brien this episode, but somebody we do have is a man named Ryan Moore. Welcome to the show.
That's me. Thanks for having me.
How would you describe yourself as your? I know you through Montclair Film. This is the first time we're meeting each other.
Yeah.
So I know you through Jordan. I know you as a filmmaker as well, but if you gave yourself a label?
I would say I'm a filmmaker and film educator.
Yes.
I work, at the Montclair Film Fest. I work in education and I plan and execute film classes for teens, adults.
That's a fantastic description.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, I definitely want to learn more about your experience with Montclair Film, how you got into that, your film that, is it currently in the festival circuit, Marijuana Minutes?
Yeah, it just started. We had our
exciting
first festival 2 days ago.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. So before we get into all of that, though, every episode, our guest has to tackle a challenge. Each person gets a completely separate list, completely different categories. You just name as many off of this list as you can throughout the podcast, interrupt at any time. Yours is weed movies.
Weed movies.
Yeah,
okay.
You cannot use your cell phone.
Can I just take notes?
No, I'm taking the notes.
Okay.
You just list them off. Because I'm meeting you for the first time, right? I don't know if you're cheating.
I could be a cheater.
You could be an educator that is a cheater.
It happens. It could be, I don't know. My old roommates
I want to trust you.
Always claimed I cheated at Settlers of Catan, but I assure you I never did.
Okay. We'll take your word for it. So yes, weed movies, obviously that is the topic, because Marijuana Minutes. So we'll go into that one first, and then I will get your background with Montclair Film, and also your interest in education in the first place.
Sure.
So Marijuana Minutes, what part did you play in the beginning of that when idea was incubated?
Sure. It was something I was just writing as a side project, and I've always loved stoner comedies. I'll name some now to start the list.
All right.
But, I love Pineapple Express.
Classic.
I love Half Baked. And like Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, who doesn't?
All those kind of movies. And, when I was in film school 8 or 9 years ago. Where was that? Montclair State.
Okay.
I haven't left.
Okay.
But I don't know. I've always gone towards weed movies and weed comedies, and I don't know. They say write what you know.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, also special time with it being legal.
Yeah.
Very different. I'm sure your experiences growing up with that. I mean, did you grow up in Jersey?
Yeah, grew up in Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
Monmouth County.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm back there now. I lived up here for a while. Now I'm back. I'm in Red Bank, if you know where Red Bank is.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. How is that? I mean, your thoughts when you were a kid, couldn't wait to get out of there, or when you're older, you're like, yeah, I could see why my parents chilled here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think everyone when they're 17 can't wait to leave, and then some people are good after they leave. But I lived up in North Jersey, and I love North Jersey too. Work up here. I'm up here all the time.
Yeah.
But I just I missed kind of space and lots of parks around and everything.
Yes.
And so
I get that. More and more people are definitely flooding North Jersey. Or, I mean, any place that's also close to the city, obviously, where we are. And then you just feel like there is kind of limited space.
Yeah.
Or people are more on top of each other. And you're like, where's the land? What happened to the... Also, I mean, do you have neighbors that like you, talk to you? I don't have a lot of neighbors that talk to me. Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go to Redmond.
Yeah, we got a good amount of my man Carlos, who he painted our house.
Oh, nice.
And see him all the time, talk to him. There's a bunch, a lot of people that we just kind of say hi to, but some that,
Yeah.
I was telling you before we started recording that I like to go on walks. I do a lot of walks. I sound like the oldest person in the world so far in this podcast.
I know, but you're young.
I like my
People are gonna guess
my walks, and I talk to the neighbors.
Someone's be like, does he have a cane?
Yeah.
Like
Ancient. But, yeah, I talk to my neighbors.
Do you also, is that to detach from tech? Like technology? Like I work on my, that's why I also take walks, is because I'm staring at a screen all day.
I mean, I guess to detach from screens, because I'm usually still like listening to a podcast or music, but less entranced in the screens. Yeah.
Well, what are your current podcasts you're listening to?
I do improv. I love sketch stuff, but I don't listen to many comedy podcasts.
Neither do I.
I'm not drawn to them for some reason. So mostly anything from NPR.
Yeah.
Again, I'm ancient.
I listen to that.
The Daily. I love The Daily. And then a lot of horror stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
A couple true crime ones and a couple fiction ones. I love No Sleep.
I haven't heard of that, no. Is
Check
it terrifying?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of
I was going to say,
cheesy.
do I not want to walk at night listening to this?
Every now and then there's a freaky one, but I feel like it's more kind of cheesy.
Interesting.
But in a good way.
Okay.
But some
good
are freaky.
Cheesy, okay.
Yeah. Freaky cheesy.
Okay, freaky cheesy.
But not too bad, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so... totally lost my thought. I forgot my questions. What happens? So your relationship with education. I know, we know where you grew up, the area you're around, going to school in Montclair, you're talking about film and everything. And you always had a desire for film to create stuff or to make stuff. Like you were saying, Marijuana Minutes was a side project.
Yeah.
Writing things. So were you more like, I have to be hands-on and have to do things for myself? Or were you the student where you're like, yeah, I'll sit in a 3-hour lecture about cinema?
Yeah, so Dazed and Confused.
Ah, that's good. That's good.
So when I was in high school, I had this TV production class, and that was one of the first classes.
I'm so jealous. I wish I had that in high school.
It wasn't even a phenomenal one.
But still, an introduction.
It was taught by the oldest man, and and he taught us how to do analog VHS to VHS editing. Again, to make myself sound ancient.
Oh my god!
We had Final Cut. We didn't need that. It wasn't that long ago.
But you have to appreciate the past.
It wasn't even that. He just didn't know how to use a computer. So the teacher was so old. But anyway. But that class got me into filmmaking, and I got an A, and I was not a good student in high school at all. Especially math and science classes was terrible. So I was always okay at English. I always liked English, and I always liked history to some degree. But I wasn't a great student. So when I latched onto film, and then I went to college and kept up with it, and was I don't know, it was always the thing I liked, thing I wanted to do. Yeah. Especially screenwriting. So. Well,
so it's just you who wrote Marijuana Minutes.
Yeah.
As far as the next step of taking it into the next stages of production, how was it, finding someone to make, were you also a director?
Yeah.
So how was it finding the actors? How was it finding locations? How was that experience? Was this your first film?
The first feature. Did a lot of sketch comedy stuff and a lot of short film. But first feature.
So how was the process different?
I'd been on crew for features, so I kind of, knew generally how they should run. Mm-hmm. But It's the first time being in charge of one. Well, so the first thing was I had two awesome producers that were with me the whole time from beginning to the end. Nick D'Amico and Justin Guerreri. So they really helped me the whole entire time. And then we had different producers on set as well. One of our leads was also helping produce during production, and our cinematographer was awesome, Monica Koloja. She's got a long Polish last name with a lot of consonants in there. And Mike Pacina, our gaffer, helped us produce too. So it was really a big collective
team effort
of people that I knew, and I feel like I gotta name everybody now. Anthony Echo,
fill the credits.
Get everybody in there. Jared Cardenas. But so
were there points in time where it was daunting?
Of course, yeah.
And how did you grapple with that? How were you able to create, peace and calm in the chaos? Because making a movie is hard. Obviously, it requires a lot of time. And you're thinking of there's a lot of elements.
So we were just kind of paying for it as we went, which has its downsides, right? Mm-hmm. Continuity is very tough because you're filming sporadically. We were filming on weekends, so we had big gaps.
I get that. Yep.
Even though it's just 5 days, it's
a difference.
It can mess up your location stuff. Everything's kind of up in the air. Actors might have stuff pop up in a month.
Yeah.
So the chaos was kind of born out of that, but also quelled by it because we had those 5 days to be able to pivot and plan something else.
Yeah.
But so. I'm a pretty calm person, so
I could tell.
I think I just kind of rolled with it whenever something came up. Of course, I got stressed, and and just having a good team of people. Couldn't have done it without if any single one of them wasn't on it, wouldn't have gotten done. Because there's certain things I'm terrible at. I'm not a post-production person, and my one producer Nick, he really spearheaded post, and then Justin really spearheaded production. So everyone was helping out in these different areas, and
that's
together
great, using all your strengths. Absolutely. Can you give a synopsis, a small description of Marijuana Minutes?
Sure. So a lazy stoner named Amy gets her hands on a weed vape, and she discovers that the weed vape can rewind time as she hits it. And she uses it for nothing but
this is such a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, and she uses it for just mischief and self-gain.
That's
nothing
so fun.
Good. I was telling someone about it yesterday, and I was like, this is a superhero movie where the person who would have been the hero doesn't give a shit to help anyone. So that's why, the inciting incident would have been the same if it was a superhero movie. But then everything that follows is different.
I love that. It's kind of spinning it on his head. What about... Also, we are now joined by Jordan.
Hello. I have been released from the film world.
He was on set. What would have been your pick if you hit the pen and you travel? Does she? Oh, now
so
I have
it just
so many
rewinds
questions.
time, so it doesn't. You can't.
So
go,
you can't control it though. She can't choose.
It's for however long you hit it. So it's just for
I love that.
It's just for fuck ups. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a lot of math for stoners.
Yeah, exactly. Too much.
Then I won't ask you that. Then that's too personal. If I ask you, what would you go back in time and do your fuck ups?
I feel like no matter who it is, you have to say kill Hitler, right? You have to be like, I'm going to go kill Hitler.
It's at the top of a lot of people's lists.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't say I'm going to kill Hitler, people go, well, why wouldn't you kill Hitler? Oh, you're going to go visit your grandma? That's very sweet. You could have saved many grandmas by killing Hitler.
Yeah, that's such...
In the people's defense who choose not to kill Hitler, he did do it for us. So that's kind of kind of him.
That's true. He killed Hitler.
Exactly.
Yeah,
even Hitler would go back in time and kill Hitler.
But too late. I mean, it was... Anyway. Speaking of vapes, though, because now that I want to know your thoughts. We won't go into, super depth of politics, but Juul being, I know that's nicotine, but Juul being now banned from the U.S. and kids doing, when they were, kids now, obviously it wasn't when we were kids. I didn't have a vape when I was in high school. I didn't have a vape pen when I was in middle school. I didn't smoke until I was much older. But now, like, some schools have sensors for vapes.
Really?
Yeah. For
sensors.
In the bathroom. So,
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, just what are your thoughts on, obviously, like, you just weed pens versus non-weed pens?
Sure. I don't know. I used to use the vape pens myself, like, the little cartridge ones, because they're like magic and you can use them anywhere, and
it's
they're
convenient.
great for that.
Yeah, I get that.
But I will say, like, when I was just using them, I got like this weird lung fatigue, and I kind of stopped using it because of that. I was just like, I got this weird lung fatigue. There's weird stuff in the news about vapes, so I'm just gonna stop. I don't know. I always liked old fashioned anyway.
Well, you notice the difference as opposed to when you're doing just flower, and when you're doing a joint, and when you
I will say I have a PAX, so I have like the oven and vape, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
Those are good. Yeah. Those are definitely. Sorry, I didn't know if you had a question.
I have plenty of questions, to be honest. I don't know what you touched on before.
Well, we were touching on the film.
Cool.
Went into just how that came about, his idea, and then being executed, the great group of people he's working with, the team, it being like now just starting to be in the festival circuit. I also wanted to, we can pivot and just talk about Montclair Film for a bit, because we talked about your education and growing up and everything. How did you get involved, just in the first place?
Montclair Film, yeah. So, very beginning was I went to Montclair State, so I heard about the festival just when I was a student. Went there to see, like, just as a, audience member to watch stuff, and had a great time. And then I had a friend that was shooting some of the talks. Like, they do, like, they'll have a celebrity and they'll do a talk and they shoot those. So I just started, like, being, like, B or C camera op for some of those talks, and working there through my friend. And then the education department formed in, like, 2015. And, and I just took one job teaching one class, and I really liked it. And just kept up with it. And, I don't know. I love working with the kids and seeing what kind of crazy shit they come up with.
That's really cool.
It's really fun. So,
since you're tapped in, what are things that they are into now? What are the specific courses that you taught and are teaching?
Interesting. So, like, what age group? Middle school or high school? Because two very different.
True. Well, both. Give me both. What are they each tapped into?
I feel like every single middle school film class we have, it's either like a murder mystery movie, comedy, like a murder mystery comedy, or like a horror comedy. And they're just like, and everyone's gonna die. I don't know. They love those two things.
What is the obsession?
I don't know. They like death. Middle schoolers.
Puberty's always weird. It brings you to weird.
Yeah, puberty's weird.
They haven't been exposed to shock comedy either.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to, like, shock each other a little bit and say crazy stuff to, like, get a rise out of people and see what they do.
I didn't think of that.
Exactly. And it's always it's always silly. Like, it's not, I don't think we've ever made an actual horror movie. Partially because the actors are in middle school, but also partially because they always want to work in jokes too. And then high school gets a little more moody. High schoolers, they want to try to do, like, a little mindfuck kind of movie, or they want to make something a little trippy,
psychological thriller, interesting.
Or they want to make a coming of age film, which I always think is funny, because I'm like, you're still coming of age. But
yeah, that's so true. Coming of age films, though, like, I usually do not gravitate toward that genre. I'm usually not about it, don't like it. But Cooper Raff, is that his name?
Cooper Rafe, I think is his name. The guy who made Shithouse.
And then what did we just see that was on Apple TV?
Cha Cha Real Smooth just came out, but he's like the youngest, like I guess mainstream director. It seems like right now.
I don't
25.
know.
Wow.
He's
25.
super young. But it's his movies that have literally such a sweet nature, and you're just. I just enjoy it. I enjoy it.
A lot of wisdom for a 25-year-old.
Also,
it seems like at least like 29-year-old wisdom, you know.
Right. So check that out if you haven't seen it or heard of it. Yeah, he's 25.
4 years over his average. Yeah.
Basically,
he's 25.
He's 2 for 2 right now with features.
Sweet. So. I gotta write these down. What are they again?
Shithouse and Cha Cha Real Smooth, and he had like Dakota Johnson in Cha Cha Real Smooth. Cooper Raiff, Raiff is the last name.
Which I was gonna ask. This actually kind of leads us into my next question is like, what are some of the biggest challenges you think independent filmmaking has?
Budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably budget's one of the biggest challenges, but also one of the things that makes you get the most creative too, figuring out a way around stuff.
Very true.
And then I think the other really big thing is just the distribution and what to do with your film at the end. It's changed so much, and it's like still changing, and I think there's some like balancing that has to happen on the end of some of the distributors. You know, like Amazon paying like a penny and an eighth for every streaming hour. And like, I don't know, there's a lot of places that really don't give you much, and it seems sketchy. So I think, that side of indie filmmaking presents a lot of challenges, and then just budgets.
If you were like putting out into the world like the ideal like film fans way to support your like auteur, like what do you think like the average film fan can do just to like support their local, like what do you think is the best way to connect people with film financing? Is it just like waiting for your friend to have a Kickstarter? Is it just like you have to be like tuned into the local theaters, or like is it just when you get approached by somebody you say yes for the most part if it seems promising? Like what do you think is the best lesson to somebody who wants to support the arts and like help young filmmakers like get that jump start?
I think like share their stuff, you know, tell people about it, actively talk about it, but also buy their merch, right? Because a lot of the distribution deals, you know, the filmmaker really kind of gets the short end of the stick if you're buying like their rental, right? If you rent it on Amazon for $3, they're getting like $1.25.
Yeah.
But a lot of filmmakers will sell their hats, their shirts, or whatever on a separate website, and that's a good way to support them. And then like Kickstarters and Indiegogos and all that kind of stuff really helps too. Yeah. If you have a ton of money out there, you know, email me.
Hit up Brian.
Yeah, I was gonna say the merch thing is definitely like it takes a film from outside of just being a piece of art to like being part of the culture. Like once people start wearing the hats, and then like you see them around, like strangers are wearing it. Like she was just watching Napoleon Dynamite for the first time, but it's pretty hard for her to watch that movie without like seeing things that she's already been marketed to through people's t-shirts and like other things.
Totally.
Yeah, you just hear the references,
right,
you're like, oh, that's where it's from. Yeah. Which I still have to finish it. I didn't finish it.
Oh, I love that movie.
I don't know. I was more of like Dodgeball was my it was. I mean, two very different kinds of humors.
Yeah, and Napoleon Dynamite and Dodgeball, indie success story, right? They were extremely low budget.
Yeah,
they were indie, mostly no name actors.
Yep.
Yeah,
but I that's also the like riveting thing when you watch stuff like that, and then you see people's careers just keep growing, or you like follow their trajectory, and you're like, oh my god, that's so cool, you just did it. You just like, people ask, oh, how do I start? Just start, just make it, find people, right? Like it's definitely, you need a village or just a small group of people, but you need other people who have like your production, people who have talents and wisdom in many different departments, and then joining together, and then as long as you have fun doing it, what's the harm in that? There's no, like, you can't go wrong. But it's just cool that, I mean, you don't even think like it can go anywhere. You don't think of like the super future of like, oh, what's gonna happen to it or whatever. You're just in the here and now, and making it is just, I just love it, where you also looking back in certain things that still, because sometimes for me, I'm just like, yeah, you don't need special effects. You don't need some things. You don't need like crazy, wild digital. Like, of course, yes, looks impressive. Totally get it. But you just need people in a room talking. Right. And you just need it to be interesting.
People just need to connect to your characters.
You just need it to be relatable. You just need it to be, whatever your edges is, whatever your edges. But sometimes I think simple is the answer, or sometimes I think
totally. I also think that, like, off the simple is the answer thing, right? Like your plot has to like hook someone, but that's kind of it. Yeah. Like, you don't need a good plot in your script. Maybe that's controversial. But I think it's just the characters, right?
It's true.
As long as your plot can hook someone, that's enough to get them to watch it. Yes. And then when they watch it, if they connect to your characters, you're golden. Yeah. And that's,
because the characters weren't taking you along the ride. Right. And if you're just like, yeah, I'm into it, I'm into it. But yeah.
If you had to write a spin-off movie of a character from an ensemble film, somebody has given you the assignment for 2 years, go off, write the spin-off or something, what would it be?
I think Red in Pineapple Express, Danny McBride's character.
That's a good take. Wow.
That is good.
Right? He's such a fun character. He's crazy. And you could write anything too, because that guy's history could be checkered, and you could come up with almost anything, and people would buy it.
Yeah.
Wow, a prequel.
What are some of your like childhood fave films?
Oh, good question.
Stuff that was like you even still, if you do, like, your mind just goes back to thinking of that when you're writing something or working on something. As the connective tissue.
So, like, in high school, the first time I saw Wet Hot American Summer, it immediately became, like, one of my favorite film. I love Wet Hot American Summer. Wow. But when I was, like, a little kid, my dad showed me movies, like Zucker Brothers movies, Airplane, Kentucky Fried Movie, also Mel Brooks movies. Like, I loved, as a kid, Young Frankenstein. Still love Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, classic.
What else? The Jerk, Steve Martin. Ever see that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie. But, like, those kind of, like...
It's been a while since I've seen that.
Physical comedy, goofy silliness just for the sake of being silly. Yeah. I like all that stuff. And I wish we saw that in movies more now, too.
I agree. Honestly, that's when my dad introduced me to Buster Keaton and silent films, and I was just like, yeah, I'm more of a Keaton fan probably than a Chaplin fan, but that's definitely like, or when my brother and I would just watch the Three Stooges, like, weekend mornings. It was on TV the other day, and I was just like, wow. So it was not an episode that aged well. They definitely were appropriating Native American culture, so it was not a good episode. But it is such like slapstick comedy, but like the physical humor, but it's just the bare bones of the timing, and then just people being goofs. But I mean, for Buster Keaton, though, it was, just very strategic at times, because you're like, oh my God, he does his own stunts. Oh my God, whatever. And like some of the things you just can't, it's literally magic. Sometimes you're watching the movie and you're like, I'm watching magic on a screen. But I do love how a lot of things are conveyed visually instead of through dialogue. I mean, obviously with silent films, they just have the title cards, but I do like how sometimes I feel like there are filmmakers who beat you over the head with stuff. I mean, I don't know if there's like a specific filmmaker that comes to mind for you. For me, it's Steven Spielberg. Sometimes I just feel, I'm just like, yes, okay, I understand, I get it. Like, I'm not an idiot audience member. Like, you don't have to keep showing me this or telling me this. Like, we grasped it already. Move on. Like, when we watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, I don't know if you saw
I love that movie so much.
But it was great. It was great. But there's definitely, I mean, were you tired of the hot dog fingers? Like, or you like that
the hot dog fingers was my favorite.
See, some people wanted more and more of the hot dog.
You wanted more of those?
Yeah. They want to do a spin-off movie of the hot dog fingers.
Honestly, yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis.
I would watch an hour and a half of hot dog fingers. That's how much, I see what you're saying, but that's how much I love silly stuff.
Okay. That's fair. I like silly stuff, but I'm just, I don't know. It was pretty good with the hot dog fingers. I was like, I've had it. It's enough. It's good. Sometimes the justifications in movies, though, I feel like things are a cop-out, or it's like too, like, it's just not clever. I mean, I don't know if it's because everything has been done already, but I just watched stuff. I mean, like, your idea for Marijuana Minutes, never heard that idea before. For somebody to rewind time with that. That's like taking Click and the Adam Sandler movie Click, and taking the movie, like, is that how that had, like, what was the spark for that? Because I'm trying to pull, like, other movies if you combine it.
So people have asked me, so I have described it that way before. I've been like, it's like Pineapple Express meets Click.
Oh.
But
nailed it.
But, like, I don't remember how I conceived of, like, I don't know. When I write, it's usually kind of how I just described to you guys. I think characters are most important. So usually I'll start with, like, these vivid ideas for characters, and then I'll see how they plug in together. I don't know. I usually start very character-centric, and then the plot gets built around them.
Nice.
So,
how long did it take you to write this script?
Like 3 months. Yeah.
Wow.
But maybe more if you include, like, the download phase. I don't know what to call it, but, like, when you kind of have the idea, but you're just either scribbling in notebooks or thinking about it, like while you're driving and stuff. You're in the download phase. You haven't actually typed, like, fade in yet, but you're digesting everything.
Is that your process? It has to simmer in your brain for a while before you put it on paper?
Yeah, and I also, like, go back to stuff a lot too. So, like, sometimes I'll have a notebook with an idea where I even have some scenes written out, but then I'll put that down for like a long time and then go back to it.
Yeah, maybe I guess that's just the process of writing.
Oh, Reefer Madness. I'm doing one of the movies.
Oh. Why did he just say that? I always forget there's a challenge. That's good. That's some good stuff.
So, what are some of your hobbies outside of film? What can I catch you doing when you're not smoking weed and doing film and being a mentor?
Outside of work and making movies.
You talk to cats.
I talk to cats. Yeah. I wander around my neighborhood. I like to walk, and I find the neighborhood cats.
I was gonna ask you next. What's the weirdest, like, Jersey thing you did?
It's that. Talking to the street cats. Hobbies. I don't know. I love playing the Pokemon games.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Nintendo guy.
We got a 64.
Nice.
We got the Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, I love old N64 games and Game Boy games. I don't know, like audiobooks.
Nice.
Like
cool.
Breweries.
Cool.
Oh, what types of beer do you like? I just started working at a brewery, so I'm getting back into beer. I started working at Foreign Objects, like, as their fill-in guy. So I'm just gonna randomly show up at Foreign Objects.
Nice.
Up in Monroe. Yeah.
I worked for a brewery once too for a few months, and then it closed. It was a sudden one. Weird experience working there. But anyway, super nice people. I don't know if they knew how to run a business. Yeah, it was a weird place. They would pay for, like, these fancy vegan lunches, and someone would come in and do yoga with us.
Nice.
And but they weren't selling enough
Are you
beer.
sure it wasn't a cult?
Might have been. I guess I got out just in time. But it's beer. Sorry, high brain. So
no, it's all
beers
good.
I like.
I love like brewery stories because like crazy stuff happens when you're like literally dealing people like it's like the equivalent of like now people are working at dispensaries and stuff like that, but like that's like what people are doing at breweries, but they don't treat it like that.
Right. It's the socially acceptable version of that. I stereotypically for a guy with a beard and a hat on right now, I do love IPAs.
Oh, we got a wee guy, yeah.
I like sours a lot. I don't know. I like pretty much everything. I just don't gravitate towards stouts and porters. We should do a flight together, and then we can, you can take the light ones, and I'll take the dark. Oh, you're a stout and porter. Gotcha.
Anything coffee, anything heavy, anything that tastes bad, he likes it.
I will say
I just don't like, it's so heavy.
They're too heavy. Yeah. I do like to try them, though. Like, if I go to a brewery, I'll get the sampler size of a stout. Like, because I want to know what this, like...
Yeah, gotta try one.
They always have the most ingredients. So it's like Madagascar vanilla, cinnamon swirl.
Yeah.
Super cinnamon toast crunch stout.
Wow, I want to taste that one. That sounds good.
What are some of the banging local breweries? In Jersey
Montclair
or just
area,
in general?
or where I live in Red Bank area?
Jersey in general, or
I love Icarus.
Okay.
They have amazing IPAs.
Cool.
They're very creamy. They like have the mouthfeel of a stout. Like they kind of feel like a Guinness in a weird way.
Okay.
But so I like them, Icarus. I like Source.
Where's Source?
Source is in Colts Neck.
Cool.
I like up here. I like Magnify.
Oh, cool! I've had some of them. Didn't know they were up here.
And what's the other one I just went to? My buddy Miles, who's in the movie too. Miles Lindsay. Shout out to him. He works at Ghost Hawk in Clifton.
Oh, nice. We've walked there before.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. You can walk in from here?
Yeah, hypothetically. It's a long walk, but the drunk
take
walk
that long
back
walk.
is good.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you try they have, it changed my outlook on lagers, because I've never been a lager guy either.
Yeah.
But they have like this awesome lager.
What is it called?
And you can get it like milk style, which sounds gross because it's beer, but it was really good. And it's just like the way they pour it is different. It's like a nitro lager pour or something like that.
Oh,
Side
whoa.
pour, they said. I'm probably botching this description, but it was really good.
Their beer is really good.
I
like their beer a lot.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Where do you guys go?
We've been going back to Drownlands a lot because I'm from Warwick. I don't know if you've ever been up to there. That's right across the border in New York.
Gotcha.
Really cool building.
We have a festival in like July or August in Nyack. Is that close?
Nice.
To Warwick?
Not super
really.
close, but Nyack is awesome.
But Nyack's really nice.
We also hang in Nyack sometimes.
You ever been?
No.
They have
Nyack's great. Nyack's really great.
I think they have Twin Elephant, I think is in Nyack. There's some kind of brewery in Nyack that's really good also. Nyack is a very like artsy town. Like it's like Montclair basically.
Cool.
Like it has like college kids hanging out, but then there's also just like the liberal people who have lived there forever kind of. And,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always catch jazz music. And
Yeah. Oh yeah, Marine's Jazz Cellar. Really nice. I mean, it's kind of like New Englandy vibes, also too. Nice, because I mean, being by like the river, I just love it. Nyack is like super peaceful and super fun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other towns and cities are you gonna be touring to? Where can people find you?
So the first one we were just at was this last weekend, Roosevelt Island Film Festival.
Nice.
Which was really cool. If you're submitting your film, submit there next year because it was a blast. It's an island in between Manhattan and Queens.
You take the ferry or they have a trolley?
We drove there. They have a bridge, cool. But you can take like they have one of those air trams. You can go to Manhattan and then you can take the air tram there, which looked really cool, but it just wasn't practical time wise. I was like, I'll just drive. But
I'm not trying to risk you with Manhattan's crumbling infrastructure either.
that too. And it was a really cool festival. The people who run it were super nice, and we ended up winning. We got the top prize.
Oh,
Yay!
congrats!
We got best feature, and
Yay.
the movies were good. So I felt really good to win because I was like, first off, I did not expect to win. My speech was terrible. I was like, you guys got a cool island. And they were like, okay.
They're like, this is like,
I didn't expect I'd be up here. But,
that's awesome.
So it was great first festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was the first one. Then we got the Long Island Film Expo coming up. And that's a little outside of the city on Long Island. Then we have the Nyack one, I think, is after that. We got one in Michigan in a few months. We got one in, 2 in Jersey later on. Yeah, so we'll be around.
Cool.
One in Maryland. I think we have 7 so far, but we're still waiting to hear back from like 40. So I'm hoping we'll get into at least 20.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Especially once you start putting those credits out.
Right.
Yeah, that's tight that you guys want. Yeah.
Yeah.
A good streak to start you guys out.
Yeah,
Let's get that rolling.
And I noticed it was cool. Like we posted about it, and other festivals have been like messaging us on Instagram. And they're like, "Here, submit." And I'm like, "Well, that's really cool."
Yeah.
So it's getting a little something going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I wish you the best with the rest of the festivals.
Thanks.
Is there anything you want to plug as far as like handle, location where people can find what you're doing in the future?
Sure. So
we'll also add stuff in the description.
Yeah, Instagram. It's just marijuana _minutes_film, and I think on Facebook it's just marijuana minutes is the page. Yeah, marijuana minutes.
We're excited. We're excited.
Follow us on there. The website is linked on the Facebook too, so
awesome.
We'll have a where you can see it page. Oh, and you guys should come to our Montclair screening. We're gonna.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna do a screening at the Claridge.
Oh,
yeah, love that theater. Yeah.
July 15th. Come.
Awesome.
It's a Friday.
Awesome. Yeah, love Fridays. Love this conversation. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Totally.
And sharing everything that you have to offer, and we cannot wait to hear more about what you're doing.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully people can catch the movie at some point, and fun talking to you guys.
All right,
cool,
everybody.
Cool.
Thanks for listening to Sessions with Mary Jane.
Thanks,
check out LNH Studios website. Peace out. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. Any more weed movies?
Okay, what do I have so far again? I don't even remember.
You have Pineapple Express, Half Baked, Cheech Chong, Dazed and Confused, Reveal Madness.
Okay.
Cheech Chong.
Let's see. I don't know. There's so many that are like peripheral genre too, right? Like I'm gonna say Clerks is
that counts.
Clerks is
for
a
sure.
stoner movie.
Yeah.
And Clerks 2.
I feel like the characters have to smoke weed.
Yeah. Jay and
like
Silent
it's not
Bob
a big
Strikes
deal.
Back.
Yeah.
I didn't even say that. You guys should submit too. Kevin Smith has a new film festival.
Oh yes,
the Smod Fest or Smod Castle Fest. You guys submitted there?
I think we are.
I think yeah.
I think that was one of the ones.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. Okay, so what do I have? Jen saw Bob Strike Back. Has to be a movie, no TV shows, right?
Just films.
Unfortunately.
Can't think of any right now.
I wonder why there's fireworks. What day is it?
Well, that's 8.
27th.
8.
You hear fireworks?
I thought I did.
Super early July 4th celebrations. Or it could just be for Pride Month.
Oh yeah, and to Pride. Yeah. Caddyshack has some weed in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts.
Yep.
Maybe then like Animal House.
I would count that. Would you count that? I would
feel like
count
stoners
that.
watch it. At least.
I would count that. I'm pretty sure that they. Yeah.
It does count. For sure.
What was that one? Van Wilder. Remember that one?
No.
Ryan Reynolds. He's like a party college dude.
Yeah.
I don't
I've never
think it was
seen
a
that.
great movie, but it was a movie with weed in it.
Still a movie.
It was definitely a Ryan Reynolds early movie,
Yes.
which was only tolerable if you were very high.
Yes, exactly.
So that'd be 11. Is there an actor you think plays a stoner character real well? Like your fave interpretation?
I mean, I just love Seth Rogen. Like, I think he's such an underrated actor. Like, he's so good with
Very
subtlety.
skilled.
You know what I mean? Like, he's great. Really, anyone in Pineapple Express, I think, did a kick-ass job. You know, James Franco, for better or worse, right? I know he's got a checkered history, but he did have a great stoner character.
Is he just going the corner with everybody else who's...
I think he's probably just writing. He's
definitely not teaching.
He's
I wouldn't say definitely. I'm sure they have spots in Paris for people like him to teach.
Yeah, he'll
I feel like that's where
teach
people
alongside Kevin Spacey. He'll do masterclass from over there.
Been in France for like 50 years to avoid
Roman Polanski.
Yeah, he's writing with Roman Polanski.
Yeah,
the French don't care.
I have a theory, which is that even no matter how shitty you are, there's still a societal scale of hotness to shittiness, right? So it's like Harvey Weinstein, never gonna bounce back, not hot. James Franco, it doesn't even seem like he's been fully canceled because he's pretty hot. I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I'm saying it is a thing. Right? Name someone else who's been canceled.
Well, I was gonna say something.
They're having trouble with Ezra Miller, as that's kind of going on.
No,
really?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. There's some wild stuff going on.
No.
At least like the press is like reporting some pretty wild stuff.
Oof.
I don't know if it's like
Ansel Elgort, whatever
on
that guy,
staff, but
kid's name is. He was kind of canceled. He was in
also very good looking.
what's his name? What did I say his last name probably?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's I'm gonna look it up.
I think your theory's right.
Bill Cosby, not hot.
Ansel Elgort. He was the one that was in
Baby Driver.
Yeah, and then the recent. I mean, that's why he was like a weird movie.
I didn't even know something.
When they were promoting it. Oh well, he was just like Me Too-y. I don't know. He was like weird or like just like I don't know if he sexually assaulted a girl, but I think he was just. I don't know the specifics or predatory, but when they were like promoting it or doing interviews of what was the Steven Spielberg movie?
West Side Story.
Yeah, thank you, because he was in that, and that was the most recent one, and then it was kind of Armie Hammer. I don't think he's coming back. He's handsome, but he was like he's a cannibal, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is that a different sector?
Yeah, I don't know. Eating people might be hard. You even have to be hotter. And I don't know, but also like if you
gotta be real hot.
If someone was like, "Who do you think will bounce back?" Bill Cosby or Armie Hammer? I'd say probably Armie Hammer than Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Wow. Definitely.
Aziz bounced back really quick.
Sure.
He's a little cutie, so.
His thing was more mild than other people's.
Louis C.K. not very hot, having a hard time bouncing back. He's trying.
People loved his special though.
People did love his special.
People loved his special. He came back and he still has his fans.
He's got some fans.
Still.
Yeah.
Still. Who was I thinking of? Even Steven. Why am I blanking on his name? Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's in rehab and he was like physically abusive to FK Twigs or whatever it is.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that either.
Yeah, but he was just I just don't think he was doing well for a while. But I think he'll bounce back. Because I want him to bounce back.
Yeah, he's always interesting to watch.
I'm sure they're gonna have a Cancel Club TV show where
Right.
all of these celebrities
They all
get
get together.
rehabilitated and they
if
go to
people haven't
therapy in front
seen-
of everybody, and we get
If
to
people
see
haven't
it.
seen that episode of Atlanta in the new season, it's just it was. I mean, I'm not gonna say it if you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, yeah, you got to
Cutting myself off now.
It'll be a show hosted by Dr. Oz, because now he's a Republican.
God.
He can be the uncanceller TV show host.
God.
Yeah,
new
wow.
show coming to networks.
Imagine you were just working like as a production assistant on Dr. Oz for like years, and then you worked your way up through that, and then he's just like, I'm gonna run for office.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, this man is crazy. Yeah. I just wanted that check. I can't believe he's actually running.
That's what happens when you give people money.
And he's gonna win too. No,
I hope not.
No, I don't think he can.
I know he won the primary, which is scary enough, but
he got farther than I thought he was gonna get.
yeah.
The suburban moms love.
I don't know what to expect anymore.
Yeah.
He is the bomb whisperer. He just looks into their eyes and says, take this pill and you will be hotter. Like, you will feel better. And they just eat that up. It's bad.
Well, Dr. Oz isn't a stoner, but you got 11 stoner movies.
All right.
Wow.
That's
Tried
good.
my best.
That's
I'll think of them all on my way home. I'll be like, oh, this one, that one.